Hello and welcome to the muscular system with Miss Hook. Today we're going to go into a little more detail on skeletal muscles and how they're named. So when skeletal muscles contract, as we covered in previous chapters, they shorten. Actin binds to myosin, the whole muscle shortens, and that causes movement. How that causes movement is that the muscle is connected to two different bones by tendons. And what happens when the muscle shortens is that it moves one bone towards the other. One of the bones stays still while the other moves. So the bone that doesn't move is called the origin. The attachment that does move is called the insertion. So like in the biceps here, you can see it attaches into the radius and into the scapula and humerus. When it contracts, it causes the radius to move. So that's going to be the insertion. This is going to be the origin. And here's a nice view. Brachialis connects to the ulna and does the same thing. The type of movement that the muscle causes is called the action. So every muscle has an origin, an insertion, and an action. In this case, the movement that we've been looking at is a flexion. When these muscles contract, like your biceps brachii, it decreases the angle here. That would be a flexion. The triceps do the opposite. They make the angle bigger, so they would be extensors. They extend. So here's an example for the deltoids. Its origin is on the shoulder. It inserts on the humerus. And when it contracts, it causes several different types of movement. It can cause extension, abduction, extension, for example. All muscles fall into one of four categories for each type of movement. So the prime mover is the major muscle responsible for a certain movement. So like in the examples we were looking at before, the biceps brachii is the primary mover for flexing your arm. An antagonist opposes that movement. It does the opposite. In a book, an antagonist is a person who messes with the main character, the protagonist, who causes them harm. So an antagonist does the opposite. Biceps brachii flexes, triceps brachii extends, that would be its antagonist. If the tricep contracts, it's going to undo the biceps movement. The next two types are synergist. It helps. So we saw the brachialis helps do the same flexing motion. And then a fixator helps stabilize the origin of the prime mover. So we saw the deltoid, that would be the fixator, or at least one of them. It helps keep that origin in place as the muscles move and moves the insertion. Every muscle's name tells you something about that muscle. And the better you understand what the muscle's name means, the easier it'll be for you to get those muscle names down. So we're going to look at the different things that they tell you. First, the muscle's name can tell you which way its fibers run. So remember, in every muscle, all the fibers or cells there run from the origin to the insertion in the same direction. If they run straight up and down, for example, on your body, that would be called rectus. Straight up and down. It's like rectus abdominis, rectus. If they run horizontally, that would be called transverse. If they run diagonally, in any direction, that would be oblique. Okay. Muscles can also be named by the size of the muscles, like relative to the muscles around it. So if you look at your glutes, you have your gluteus maximus, medius, and minimus. The biggest, middle-sized, smallest. You can also have major and minor. Pectoralis major is bigger than pectoralis minor. Then you can have longus and brevis. Longus means long. Brevis means brief. Means short. By the location of the muscle, and this one's going to be kind of interchangeable with one of the next ones, origin and insertion. But basically, if the name says a bone, If it says a body region, you'll know about that muscle's location. Temporalis is by the temporal bone. Biceps brachii is in the brachial region in your arm. Next, the number of origins. So muscles can have more than one origin that come together at their insertion to the same spot. So your triceps, 3 heads. Ceps means heads. Cephalopods, head, feet, that's like octopus. They have head and feet. Biceps, 2 heads. Quadriceps, 4 heads. Origin and insertion. Sternocleidomastoid, sternum, mastoid process. By the shape. Delt means triangle. So the deltoid that we looked at was triangular. Trapezius would be like a 4-sided parallelogram. Rhombus, diamond. Orb, orbicularis oris, circular. And then action, what it does. Flex, extends, abduct, adduct are good examples. And then there's a nice review of the muscles and the actions that they do here. And this was a short one. After watching this, you should complete the worksheet that I made, going over all the different words used to describe muscles and practicing with it.